How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another ticker fee video and welcome to the ticker fee family. So the ticker symbol we're going to be talking about today, as you can see, TPGY, or formerly known as EVBOX. Now, what we're going to be talking about specifically is going to be the $2 trillion infrastructure plan and how I think it's going to correlate with EVBOX, right? What is that catalyst going to be? Then we'll talk about the draft registration statement in the connection with TPGY and EVBOX. And then we'll finish the video off with the chart analysis. Guys, thank you so much for the support. I really do appreciate it. I'm pushing these videos out as much as possible as soon as the news comes out. And for those that are tuning in for the first time, how's it going? And with that being said, guys, welcome to the Ticker Fee family. So first things first, with EVBOX, guys, if you've never heard of them, they're just like ChargePoint Station, Plug, EVgo. These are great companies, by the way, and so EVBOX is just another great company, and I personally have seen them out and about. So look, they've got EVBOX business line, right? And that's going to be catered towards more commercial locations, as well as the next one that you see right here in the middle, right? Reliability, accessibility, and whatnot. Now, the other thing too, though, is that they've got this DC charging station, which is, for those that don't know, this is going to be the fast charging. So again, I just wanted to point that out because it's a great company. They have great fundamentals. Now, what I want to talk about specifically, though, is going ahead and talking about the $2 trillion infrastructure plan. Now, with that being said, USA is ranked 13th in the world in overall infrastructure, according to the World Economic Forum report in 2019. Now, the Biden administration is using the ranking to emphasize the need to rebuild, upgrade roads, bridges, and much more. Now, I am all for that because I have traveled all over the United States for previous jobs. And I can tell you, depending on where you're at, most of the time, if it's more in the rural area or around the cities, it could be one way or the other. You just don't know. So anytime I see construction, for me, that's just an indicator that the economy is doing well. Now, 28%. The proposal would be paid with a slew of tax increases on corporations. Now, that tax increase is going to be raised to 28%, as before in 2017 it was 21%. So keep that in mind because that's a 7% difference. And so we're going to see how that affects the economy. Now, $400 billion. Now, the proposal seeks to spend hundreds of billions on what are traditionally considered infrastructure projects, right? So with $500,000 among the plan's investments in electric vehicles and their infrastructures are grants and incentives for public and private entities to build a network of 500,000 charging stations by 2030. Boom, keep that in mind. 500,000. That is incredible. So that's going to be a win-win for everybody. Electrical vehicles, electrical charging stations, the materials, I mean everybody. So great news, and I cannot stress and emphasize the importance on that. Now, check this out. Transportation, $174 billion in electric vehicle investments. Again, that's going to be catered towards your cars, your charging stations, everything. Even the batteries, right? So keep that in mind. Now, also, you've got $115 billion for bridges and roads, which again caters towards us. $20 billion in improved road safety, $85 billion in public transit, $80 billion in railways, $25 billion in airports, $17 billion in waterways, ports and entries, and so on, right? So, I mean, even $20 billion on the highways. Now, with that being said, water, internet, electricity. You've got $56 billion in modernized water systems, okay? $100 billion in electric grid and clean energy, so solar panels. So this is great for the economy. And so as you can see, if you've seen the charts here recently, especially this week, because in the past month in March, man, nobody enjoyed that ride at all. But now with this infrastructure plan, I'm telling you, everybody just skyrocketed. So I just wanted to point that out. Now, with that being said, let's take a look at the draft registration statement. Now, pulling this up, what I wanted to point out specifically is the Form F4. So, with that being said, the publicly traded company, right, the SPAC company, which is focused on high growth companies, is involved with EVBOX, right? So today announced the confidential submission of the SEC of the draft registration statement of Form F4 relating to its previously announced business combination with the new business NG Seller, right? So that's going to be to the TPG. Pace expects to acquire NG Seller's subsidiary EV Charge EVBOX group, right? So that's what I wanted to point out, because what does that mean? What are they talking about? Because even if you look at the very bottom, it says, for additional information regarding the proposed business combination and the business of EVBOX Group, see the current report on Form 8K filled by TPG Pace. So now that I pointed that out and let you recognize this, what I wanted to show you is what those two things mean, right? So if you look at the SEC, it says that through the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission and incorporated in the state of the Cayman Islands, TPG Pace Beneficial Finance Corp. is primarily in the business of blank checks, which is SPAC, right? Now, for financial reporting, their fiscal year ended on December 31st. Now, this page includes all SEC registration details as well as the list of documents. Again, you'll see 8K, 10K filed by the TPG Pace Beneficial Financial Corp. So now that you see this value, right, you see what's going on, let's actually see what those two things mean. So when you look at the SEC Form F4, it is a filing that the SEC, right, the United States Securities Exchange Commission, requires for the registration of certain securities by foreign issuers. So SEC Form F4 supports the registration of securities involving foreign private issuers in connection with exchange offers and business combinations. Now, I thought that was pertinent for you to know because I feel like that is not a known thing. So SEC Form F4 is to be used by foreign private issuer. The form must also be filed if there is a U.S. merger or acquisition involving foreign issuer. So don't be afraid of some of this lingo, some of this terminology. I mean, as you can see, it's not that complex. Now, with that being said, now that you know what the F4 is, let's check out the 8K. Now, what is the 8K? It is a report of unscheduled material events or corporate changes at a company that could be of importance to shareholders of the SEC, also known as Form 8K. Now, the report notifies the public of events including acquisitions, bankruptcy, the resignation of directors, or changes in the fiscal year. So, the Form 8K is a valuable source of complete and unfiltered information for investors and researchers. So, I personally enjoy knowing stuff like this because when you're trying to figure out the stock, if you're trying to see the long-term or short-term, ideas on what you want to do with it, you need to know all the information that's put on the table. And if you don't know, that can hinder you from making that decision. So I wanted you to have a better understanding of Form 8K. Now, with that being said, guys, I hope this added really great value. Now let's finish this video off with a chart analysis. Okay, so what is a candlestick chart, guys? So a candlestick charting is simply a method of displaying price information in a market. Now, unlike a simple line chart, each series on a candlestick chart contains the 4 data points: opening price, high price, low price, closing price. But when you're looking at the anatomy of the candlestick itself, you've got to look at the body, the wicks, and the color. Now, the body indicates the open and close range. The wicks, also called tails or shadows, which are the long thin lines above and below the main body. Now, these reveal the intraday highs and lows. Now, the color, which I believe most of us understand and see what they represent, is the direction of price movement. Now, a green, a body that shows a price increase, while a red indicates a price decrease, right? Now, keep that in mind because not everybody understands that, and so I'm not trying to confuse anyone, and I just want to continue to teach as many things as possible. Now, there are examples of popular candlestick patterns. So you've got the bullish hammer pattern, the bullish engulfing candlestick, the bullish morning star candlestick. So there's many things to be aware of and to continue to learn. I am always continuing to learn as well. Now, when I'm looking at this chart, what I notice right away is going to be the volume, which there's quite a few going on. So you've got 4 million when it comes to the volume, just for example, on 223. So if we go look currently, we're looking at 957,000. So you've had a high of 34.28, but we've had a correction of all of March, which I talked about previously. Nobody was a fan of, but it is what it is. Now, taking that into consideration, we've got a trend line that's floating around. As you can see, it's, I would say, the structure, or you've got the support and the resistance. So when you're looking at that support, you've got a low of about $17. Okay, now currently it's at $20 range now, which is great because I believe this is going to be the new support line. Now, with that being said, I think the resistance will be less, especially once this catalyst takes place. Once this merger is in and it's fully recognized, I believe our new trend line is going to grow. So guys, I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to this video. Let me know if you own this stock, or if you've bought it, or if you're thinking about it, or what's on your mind, and what you believe or what you want in the future. So let me know, leave a comment down below. And guys, I really again appreciate you taking the time to listen. And with that being said, welcome to the Ticker family.